dry today, but it is apparently there is a high percentage chance of rain over the weekend. Spicy. Also, Mercedes are running a very high downforce wing, so they're going to be potatoes on the straight. Yeah, and then we have the special liveries. The Ferrari livery, well, it's terrible, isn't it? The Ferrari livery, you've got this... They've teased it for 2 weeks with showing their production cars and their apparel and their race suits, and it's all blue, entirely blue. And then they show us the livery, and it's still red with some strips of blue. And I'm like, oh, I couldn't believe that we've been duped again. Built this up for 2 weeks. 2 weeks of teasing for that. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. It's just... I just wish they would have just for one race done a blue livery. A proper blue livery. It's a huge letdown. Huge letdown. And then AlphaTauri came in, didn't promote that livery whatsoever, and absolutely pulled out a banger. The Alpha Tauri, aka RB, fantastic livery. Absolutely, it looks brilliant. It actually looks better than their original livery, if you ask me, because the colours flow better. Yeah, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. There's the YouTube stream as well. Give that a like. You know, why not? So yeah. Yeah, I think the livery on that Alpha Tauri, I'm still going to keep calling it the Alpha Tauri, is brilliant. Because there's less of the red to clash with the blue, because it's more of a bluey, purpley Miami colour. So I actually think it works better. Which is, well, it's kind of bizarre really, isn't it? But that's the way it is. So I don't massively know what to expect this weekend, other than Max Verstappen winning. When I say I don't know what to expect, what I really mean is, just so we can clarify this for the rest of the season, what I really mean is I don't know what to expect behind the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. Just so we can all be, all be clear. Max will win, but then it's just a case of who, will end up behind. And I don't know if it's going to be Ferrari or if it's going to be McLaren. It ain't going to be Mercedes. So that's the question, really. Evening, Dan. How are you? I tell you what, I've opened my window here, right? And I've opened the window in the hall, and I've got a nice little... I've got a nice little airflow through. It's nice, because it's been actually quite warm in here. Oh, is Martin Brundle not there again? Martin Brundle's only doing 16 out of the 24 races this season. I think he's already missed 3 so far. Anthony Davidson's there, though. Love a bit of Anthony Davidson. Love it. Had an op. I don't know if he had an op, but he was only scheduled to do 16 out of the 24 races anyway. And he never does all of the races. And Crofty's doing only, I think, 18 this year as well. So there are races that he doesn't come to, and it's been like that for quite a few years. He doesn't want to do all 24, and I don't blame him. As to if he's had an operation, though, I do not know. Which part of the country are you, Current? I've asked this probably 1,000 times, but I'm just forgetful. Indiana. Okay. How far away is that from Miami? I mean, that's quite far from Miami, isn't it? Miami's obviously always hot, so they've been expecting some, hot weather. Oh, so it's actually not that far. 100 miles is nothing really in America. Oh, 1,000. Okay. I was going to say, 100 miles in America is nothing really, is it? 1,000 miles, a little bit more. I'm just looking at this Ferrari now. Fuck, they dropped the ball. So just make it blue for one weekend, man. Yeah, that's very true, really. I hadn't really considered that. You're kind of right, aren't you? I think for me, though, as someone from the UK, it's quite easy for me to forget just how substantial America is. Because I consider the UK to be quite big in terms of, going from one end to the other. But then there's states that are bigger than the UK, so it's quite hard to comprehend that scale if you're not from there. Do you know what I mean? Well, even if you're from there, it might be quite hard to comprehend the scale. It's wild, isn't it? Because there are some big states in America, aren't there? Actually, what is the biggest state? Is it Texas? What's the biggest state in America? Oh, Alaska? It is Alaska. Yeah. As soon as I said Texas, I thought Alaska. Yeah, Alaska makes sense. Fucking like Montana and Nevada are massive, though, aren't they? Like, even California's big, but Texas is bloody huge. Alaska is absolutely absurd, though. I would actually quite like to go to somewhere like Montana. From watching like Yellowstone and what have you.
Apparently you were doing something right, Captain.
Oh, thank you, Shaq.
The big 50.
Thank you very, very much for the 50 months. Yeah, from watching things like Yellowstone and films, that area of America just looks beautiful. They've got some sort of issue with the audio on the Sky broadcast right now. I can kind of hear a crofty echo. I should put this in the race notes here that... So, yeah, Piastri only has 50% of the parts, whereas Norris has the whole... Well, there appears to be an issue with this track map. That is a bug in the track map. When you make it smaller like that, the cars don't track. Hold on. See, if you change the zoom, you're ruined. One sec. Yeah, that's busted. Take that off. Right, sorry. Trump's fundraiser for the F1. No, I haven't really seen anything about that. What are we talking about? What's the deal? I'm not keeping up with my American politics, but is there a political run going on at the minute in America? Is Trump running again? Oh God, is he? I mean, isn't this just two really bad options? Again, someone that doesn't really follow American politics, so bear with me, but isn't this just like two terrible, terrible options? Yeah, he seems like... Well, I mean, I don't know what he's like, but Biden seems like fine, but he's really confused a lot of the time, though. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's hard, though, to get new people into politics, isn't it? Young people, I mean. In respect of the fact that the people who are respected and have that sway in politics tend to be the older generation. Yeah, 77 and 81. Is that not a bit too old? Well, yeah, bloody Trump did it, and he's got loads of secrets. So Lando was complaining about steering, saying that it was much easier to turn left than turn right. And then Piastri is also reporting a problem with steering, saying that the steering is heavy and there's an issue with it. So it's weird that there's a steering issue with both cars.
Right than it is left. It's really easy to turn left and really hard to turn right.
That's odd.
Understood.
It's weird to have a steering problem on both cars. Oh, it's a Ferrari. Sector 3. He spun. He spun on the exit of the chicane. That might be a red flag just because of where he is. He's gone through the chicane. Oh, no. Jack said he might. I can say there is a very good chance that I won't. Message bug. Once this is over, I'm going to start playing some CS. At that point, I'm going to be on my own, but that's fine. And then qualifying is at 9:30, so I'm going to stop for half an hour at 9:30. So I'm going to play up until 9:30. Then I'm going to start what's qualifying, and then I'll play a few more games. Hi, Lawman. Oh, Leclerc's made a fucking hash out of this, hasn't he? At least we get to look at these blue wheels, though. He can't... I don't think he can find reverse. I don't think he can find reverse. Just watching the replay. Oh, he just caught the inside curb. He's lucky that he kept it out of the wall, really. Red flag. There we go. This is actually hilarious because we had this incident where a Ferrari caused a red flag at the last race. He just can't get it spun around. He can't get it in reverse. It just won't find reverse gear. Well, I presume that's what's happened because he's you know, he's obviously stayed there and he's trying to find reverse and he just can't for whatever reason. Oh, he's getting out. No. Well, that's that. That's his session over. Charles Leclerc will be going into sprint qualifying with no practice whatsoever. That's awkward. So he couldn't find reverse. Yeah, the car did not like that inside curb. He needed, I actually think, as mad as it was, he needed to go toward the runoff and the grass and use that to spin it around. I think. That's pain for Charles Leclerc. 1 hour of practice and he doesn't have it. And all of this time that's ticking down ruins everyone else as well. Because there's a red flag now. No one can do any running. Absolutely ruined. At least we get a beautiful look of that Formula One, of that Miami flyover there. Must be annoying for people that live in Miami because I presume, well, actually, I'm looking at it now, so it is. I presume all of these flyovers, again, I don't presume, I can see it, are shut off during the sessions. Obviously, it would be a bit dangerous if there was traffic on these flyovers when it's so close to the track because, you know, you couldn't control idiots doing idiotic things. So while the sessions are on, I presume it's just while the sessions are on, all of the flyovers that go over, and I don't know if they're the same, but I can see at least 2 will be shut. Oh, there might be 3, actually. That'll be annoying. We never really talk about that. Like, you imagine places like Vegas, Baku, Monaco's probably pretty used to it, Miami, Canada, all these circuits, Singapore, where we have streets, all these weekends where we have street circuits. It must be super annoying to live there when these, you know, when the race comes to town. I saw a video the other day. I don't know who these guys were. It came up on my feed, and they were talking. It was some sort of podcast. Anyway, they were talking about Indy 500 month, the month of May in Indianapolis. And obviously one of them was a huge racing fan, and the other one's like, I hate it. I hate May in, you know, in Indianapolis because I don't like the race and I don't care for it, and it's just a nightmare. You know, so if you like racing, you probably love it. But if you don't like racing, then, you know, you're absolutely sick of all the negative aspects of it, the traffic and the restrictions, and it'd be annoying, wouldn't it? I mean, listen, the reality is, I don't think a Formula One race is coming to Wrexham anytime soon, unless Ryan Reynolds puts some money towards it. You know, he is part investor in the Alpine team now, so maybe we could get a Formula One track that goes around the racecourse. You know, maybe. But it's unlikely, isn't it? What do you make of Indy then, Current? You've been there. What do you make of it? Good experience? Man, I can only imagine that it would be. Yeah, imagine the Wrexham Grand Prix. The Grand Prix of Wales. It's not in Cardiff. It's in Wrexham. I need to get myself to a Formula One race, but one day, at some point. That day is not today. Or tomorrow. Or this year. Or next year, probably. Just got to drink for free. Well. It says green there, by the way, but the red flag is still out, apparently. No, it does. It has cleared. It has cleared. Lots of boobies. Is that a thing in at the Indy? What? Just women lifting their tops up? Is that normal? Is it? At the concert? Okay, one sec. Just ordering some tickets for something completely unrelated. Just ordering some tickets here, don't mind me. Okay, cool. That Alpha Tauri RB does look nice. I like it. Oh, so it said green flag, but it hasn't been green flagged yet. It's going to be green flagged in a minute's time. There we go. Oh, I do hate it, yeah. I would have liked the Ferrari livery if it was blue, if they actually committed to it, but I don't like it because they didn't commit to it, you know? And that's my problem. It's just shit because, yeah, I just feel like they've half-assed it. Just make it blue for one race. Like, why? They had the opportunity to make a banging livery with the two colours that they've been promoting. If the livery, right, was as it is now, but they didn't go mad promoting it, I'd be fine. I'd look at it and go, yeah, I don't really like it, but whatever. The issue was, they teased this for 2 weeks. 2 weeks they were going on about this livery, and they did back behind the scenes of the drivers designing it, and it's just a blue halo, blue wheels, and a blue stripe. And you're like, you're having a laugh. You've made such a big deal out of this for 2 weeks, and then this is what you provide. It was the same with, what was the other one that did it recently? I can't remember, but it's just, they just overdo these liveries. Like, do you know what I mean? And I suppose that's more fool on me for, yeah, at this point, you should just accept that when these teams are bigging up these liveries, that it's not going to be anything good. You should probably know, or you should probably know that by now, to be fair. I really thought they were going to do a blue livery. I really, really thought it was going to be light blue, dark blue. I thought it was going to be banging. And it wasn't. All right, Bosch. But there we go. Why are you emotional, Bosch? Yeah, the Red Bull America livery was fine, but it wasn't, it wasn't, mad. Hey, Dad. Good evening. Yeah, Alpine apparently have pulled off a lot of weight from the car now, so they're actually in and around the weight limit. Yeah, the Alpine livery is bloody atrocious, isn't it? I hope they revise the livery over the course of the season. That would be cool. Well, that's a depressing story, Bosch. Thanks for sharing that. Logan Sargent needs a good weekend, doesn't he? There's reports of him being replaced at Imola. I mean, I'm sure that's wide of the mark, but he needs a good weekend in the Americas. Hmm. Um. Well, Norris is still complaining about the steering, saying it's harder to turn right than it is to turn left. Well, you should take pride in helping someone, yeah. Yeah. It's hard to know so far, Dad, with McLaren. McLaren are the team that's brought the biggest upgrades. But we haven't had much running because Charles Leclerc stopped out on track, and so it's put a red flag came out for quite a while. Yeah. Just playing devil's advocate here, Bosch, unless I've missed some part of this story. Is this some sort of free detailing you've done? Because presumably, regardless of someone's story, you have to clean their car if you're told to. Or have I missed something here? Oh, Martin Brundle is actually there this weekend. What? Right. Okay.
Drive straight up.
Should have given it to him for free.
I mean, it feels the same
Your
to
boss,
me.
I mean.
As in the same as it was.
Obviously not
last
you. I
one,
mean,
so
you
not
can't
to
just make
not.
that decision.
Well, I need to go on track first, but it still feels just super easy to turn Left.
In our data, the bit that we diagnosed, we see is improved.
Okay, I'll see you on track.
Cool.
Hmm. Unsurprisingly, the Red Bull is looking very strong. No, they haven't. I mean, I didn't watch the pre-practice talk, Bunny, but I've not heard much talk. I'm pretty sure Adrian Newey's at the race, though, in the Red Bull garage. But I thought he was on his gardening leave from Formula One, i.e. still at Red Bull, but he was working on the hypercar, and he'd have no further access to Formula One. But he's at this weekend. He's in the garage. In fact, he's on the pit wall. Yeah, it's the big talking point, isn't it, Adrian Newey? So, I mean, it's... yeah, I didn't tune into Sky earlier, so... That's what... Charles Leclerc needed that level of runoff. Hmm. Charles Leclerc. Guys, Max Verstappen's down in 12th. He's washed. He's done. He's going to retire. That camera... another yellow flag, Sector 3. Oh, it's green now. God, even that Mercedes looks fast down the straight. It's all relative, though, isn't it? If you stood next to it and it flies past you, you're going to be like, oh, that's fast. Oh, he's bounced over that curb there. That was poor from Hamilton. Definitely lost time. Yeah, Hamilton locked up into the penultimate corner. He was 2/10 up, then he had a poor chicane, and he locked up into the last corner as well. It's like the Mafia when we tune into Toto Wolff. It's just Toto Wolff sat there, and then he's just got his posse behind him. Usually Mick Schumacher just like...
Quite bad surging in third gear.
It looks weird, doesn't it? It's just so tense. And then they've got this camera in their face looking at them while they've just got to look at the screen that is the camera of them, and they've just got to be like, weird. Hmm. Yeah, there was definitely lost time in that final corner. Lots of people locking up into that penultimate corner. Hmm. Wonder how this is going to affect Carlos Sainz now then. Not Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc. Not having any running at all. Hmm. Zach Brown just going with the rumours of Adrian Newey going to Ferrari. Carlos Sainz just went 4/10 quicker, well, 3/10 quicker than Perez on the hard tyre, and Perez is on the medium. Piero Ferrari. Hmm. They didn't fix that bloody audio issue. You could still hear Crofty twice. I don't bloody want to hear him once. Right, Joe messaged me. Seeing if I could help her with something. So, Verstappen hasn't really put in a representative time yet because the one lap that he did do, he locked up on. So, he's obviously working through some things. Well, yeah, Max is just letting everyone think that he's, you know, off the boil, and then right at the end of the session, he'll bang in a lap. And even if he doesn't bang in a lap at the end of the session, he'll just do it in qualifying. He's like, guys, come on. You know, hey, Max, it's time for FP1. He's like, do I have to? And they're like, well, we got to practice. No, I don't need to practice. I don't need to practice. Just send me out in qualifying. I'll just do one lap. It'll be good enough. And you know what? It will be. Most of the teams seem to have been doing long runs. Mercedes is one of the few that seem to have been doing quicker more qualifying aimed runs. Whereas Max, well, mostly everyone else seemed to be doing longer runs on the hard tyre. It's supposedly going to be a one stop if there's no rain. George Russell will bin it. Interestingly, this was from Andrew Shovlin. Just talking about the update. We'd originally planned to bring this to Imola, which also has some revisions around the rear wing and beam wing area. We've done a good job to pull it forward, blah, 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 blah.
Let me know if you're happy with me here or
I don't know where this big update is coming that Toto was talking about. Because it's not really referenced by Andrew Shovlin. He's really kind of saying it's just small things. It does say that over the next 4 or 5 races, there are developments they're trying to get to the car. We are behind on development, which is one of the areas we need to improve. That's interesting. Interesting. Yeah, the floor's very different on the Merc. Max lock it up again? Was that a replay or was that another one? No, it's bloody Tom NFL player. It's Tom. It's not Tom, is it? The quarterback. What's his name? For some reason I was thinking Tom Daly. Brady. Is it Tom Brady? It is Tom. Tom Brady. Tom Daly, Tom Brady. It was close. I'm so bad with names. So Mercedes saying that they're behind on the development as well, which is worrying for them. Tom Daly. That's the name. I knew it wasn't Tom Daly, by the way, but that was the name I couldn't get out of my head. What is this? Gamebridge.io. I was just wondering what this was. A better way to grow your money. I see it on all the advertising hoardings around here. I remember Gainbridge, a company called Gainbridge making graphics cards. Do you remember that? Was it Gainbridge? Oh, it was Gainwood, wasn't it? Not Gainbridge. It was Gainwood. Yeah, again, misremembering. Yeah, Liverpool are not winning the league, are they? Let's be honest. Not anymore. Not after their mess up. Well, Martin Brundle calls this chicane fascinating, but I don't think it's fascinating. I think that it's shit. I mean, it's just a shit chicane, isn't it? The shit cane. That's what it is. It's a shit cane. Hmm. They're all mostly doing long runs now. "3.5 meter gain of elevation." You wouldn't assume that, would you? The track being so flat, you wouldn't think it. It changed by 3.5 meters, certainly. I think this McLaren's going to be quick this weekend, you know. They still haven't fixed Jensen Button's microphone. They fixed the other two, but Jensen Button's microphone is still echoing. Well, yeah, but to be fair, they did their laps earlier. We don't know fuel levels and stuff, but I'm pretty sure that Piastri and Norris were doing long runs. And they're definitely quicker than Mercedes, for sure. Absolutely. Bearing in mind, Piastri's only running half of the upgrades as well. Dog going crazy outside. The other thing is as well, Mercedes and Red Bull are using mediums in this session. We're going to need mediums for the sprint qualifying later. So they're obviously trying to save a set of hard tyres, which is interesting. So what about everyone else? Let's have a look down the grid here. Bottas down in 14th. Gasly and Ocon are in 8th and 11th currently, which is interesting. Daniel Ricciardo's down in 13th, couple of positions lower than Tsunoda, as we watch a replay of Oscar Piastri going through the chicane. Nothing untoward there, really. Very close to the wall, though. Oof. Fair play.
Introduction is good. Okay to push a bit more from next lap. Albon's on like 20 kilos right now.
In fact, I mean, it looked like he nudged it, but... Well, Aston Martin have brought some upgrades as well. Alonso's down in 9th currently, and Lance Stroll in 12th, but they'll definitely be faster than that when it actually kicks off. Well, that has happened a few times, hasn't it? But I just don't think they've properly got going with this one yet. I think they'll be a lot quicker. We might see some qualifying runs at the end, like proper qualifying runs. It's not a great race circuit, really, is it? You know, I've talked about this. I don't think it's a terrible circuit just for lapping. If you were just doing single laps, quite challenging, but it's not a good race circuit. Wave to the camera, Jack. Bloody Stoffel. He's trying to smile. Stoffel Van Waffle. Oh, God. That was a little bit of a late move from George Russell there. Engineer not said, obviously not told him. Most cars in the pits currently. Norris is still out there. Both McLarens out there, in fact. Joe Guan Yu, Alonso, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Albon. Verstappen's had some changes made to his car. Yeah. To be fair, China with the sprint race, it wasn't that bad, really, was it? I was expecting it to be more chaotic, having just gone back there, but everyone managed it really well. Again, another sprint weekend, so we'll see how everyone manages this. Big news, though. Williams have a spare chassis. Hey! If I should put this on the notes. It's big news, guys. Big news. Williams actually have a spare chassis. I wonder what qualifying would be like if we went back to the old format of a one-lap shootout. Thing is, it's a reasonably unfair way of doing it in Formula One because of track evolution and stuff like that. The one stop. If you had everyone going out individually, you know, it wouldn't be great. But brain could fuck you as well. There's lots of ways for it to be very unfair. I'm not quite sure how you'd work it. You'd say championship order went out first to spice it up. So if you're leading the championship, you've got to set your lap first. You know, it's not a particularly fair way of doing it, is it? But essentially, you'd be giving the cars right at the bottom of the grid the best track conditions, which would maybe offset some of their performance. But it would only offset it for qualifying. If something like that in a track like Monaco would be savage, wouldn't it? You could end up with a bloody Williams or a Sauber winning. Because no one could get past them. Bottas only went 7th on the soft tyres. 52 degrees track temperature. Oof.
George, so just for your reference.
Well, it isn't the
That's
best, Ginger, yeah,
32-1,
admittedly.
32-3.
I mean, look, the Sauber looks bad and is bad. I don't really know, yeah, they're going to be Audi in 2026, but currently, I mean, it doesn't, they've still got to produce a better car, haven't they? Yeah. Well, yeah, their pit stops. They had some sort of issue with the gun, and bloody hell. It's been quite the issue, isn't it? 30-second pit. Basically, for the first few races, they were like, yeah, our pit stops are going to be 30 seconds. We're still going to try, but we know our pit stop's going to be 30 seconds. Max bailed out of that lap there. Max doesn't look dialed in yet, folks. He's not dialed in yet. He's still struggling with the car. So, I'm sure he will be come sprint qualifying, but he's not dialed in yet. Yeah. Jean-Pierre said him before, Jean-Pierre Lambiasi has said to him before the race, listen, should we just give people a chance just for lols? And he's gone, all right. Let's just pretend as though we're not quick. And then we'll smash them. This Ferrari, what do you think of the Ferrari livery now you can see it out on track, everyone? Now you can see it on track. What do you think of it? They were telling Max it was a gust of wind that upset the rear. Yeah, I do think it is. I think it's pretty horrid as well. I think it's pretty horrid. It's not for me. I don't like that shade of blue with the red personally, but that's just me. That's just me. Pierre Gasly, top of the timesheets. Obviously, he's on the soft tyre. And everyone's now doing their soft tyres with Carlos Sainz currently out there. I'm interested to see what his lap's going to be. Yeah, Sainz is up as well. I think the Mercedes is working well in Sector 1 because they've got a higher downforce rear wing on. So they're doing better in Sector 1, but they're going to lose out down the back straight. For sure. Sainz does a 28.9. Only 2/10s quicker than Gasly, though. Does go quicker than Sainz. Verstappen does look like he's struggling. Just on board with Hamilton at the minute. He lost 2/10 in the middle sector there. His first sector was purple. It was really good, but then he lost a lot of time in the middle sector. I mean, compared to the Ferrari, the Mercedes isn't looking too bad, though. Only a 10th down. Interesting. Let's see what Perez and Max Verstappen can achieve here. Only got 5 minutes left.
What is going on? Is that rear locking or what?
Copy, relocking.
I'm expecting Max just to come out now and just blitz this by half a second.
The tires are way too hot. I have no grip. So driving on eggshells.
Right. Oh, that's ruined. It's one of the Saubers and Max Verstappen in front of him. That was a terrible, terrible... Or maybe it wasn't Max Verstappen in front of him. I'm pretty sure it was a Sauber that blocked him, but in front of that was his teammate. Yeah, Perez is still carrying on with his lap, but he definitely lost time. There's no doubt about that. Very good through the middle sector, though. He's not pushing again. They keep saying he got out of it. They were looking at the wrong car. It was Max who was going slow ahead of him. There you go. There you go. Like, he gained so much time in that middle sector. He would have been... If he didn't lose time in that middle sector, he'd have been lightning fast. They keep saying in comms that he slowed down. He didn't. They were looking at the wrong Red Bull. Because there was a Sauber ahead of him, ahead of Sergio Perez, and ahead of the Sauber was Max. Right, let's see what Max does now. Oh, he just sends it in there. Into 4. Oh, that was so good through there. 3 tenths! Just in the first sector. How was that not a purple? Whoa, George Russell 4.5 tenths up. What the hell? Max Verstappen 6 tenths up now. Another purple middle sector from a Red Bull car. Oh, he locks up. Not a terrible one, but he definitely locked up. Be easy first. Yeah, 2.5 tenths. So, Russell did a purple first sector, but then lost 3 tenths in the second. Verstappen had another 10th or so in him there if he didn't do that lockup, for sure.
The others have gone, so the gap to the Gasly is
See what Sainz is.
Will be go one. Good.
Sainz goes P2, just a 10th slower than Verstappen. Yeah, Verstappen has 1 or 2 tenths more in there, though.
Possible to drive.
Piastri P2. Oof.
No traffic. So just easy on these tyres.
Yeah, quite bad. The sharpness. And then on the steering to 8.
David Crofty doesn't...
So we less than chase it with the flap.
Crofty really doesn't like this RB car. Doesn't like the look of it. What the hell? It's literally Miami. I mean, that sort of gradient is Miami gradient. What's he on about? Yeah, he obviously does. He just not appreciate the that Miami gradient? I don't know. Oh god, that's a lot of smoke. Bloody hell. That's interesting. Well, there we go. I mean, Verstappen did finish the session first, despite having a pretty bad session by his standards, because he just didn't really get any decent laps in until the end. And even then, you could argue that that lap wasn't perfect. He lost time in the final corner. So he's definitely got more time in the bag. So Red Bull, unsurprisingly, are still the team to beat. Behind them, though, it's looking pretty close between McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, with Aston Martin not really showing their pace. Interesting. We'll see. We will see. Right. If you're on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. I will be back later on at about 9:15 for qualifying. Sprint qualifying, of course, aka the sprint shootout. Thanks for watching on YouTube. I'm going to carry on over on Twitch. If you want to come and watch an old man play video games, you're more than welcome. Etc. Goodbye.